Hi everyone, I'm Nathan Myers, this is Megan Alderton. We are the co-founders of the Dance Sport Lab, a place where dancers of all ages and skill levels come to further their skills in Latin dancing.
So today's class, we're going to work on isolation. So the meaning of isolation means one part of the body is still while we're trying to just isolate and move another part of the body. We're going to cover different exercises where we're going to isolate our ribs and also our hips, and we'll show you how that can work in opposition to each other. Isolation is great to help with your balance. It keeps you counterbalanced. It's also a good way to show off one area of the body as everything else is still.
Excellent. So come join us and our Dance Sport Lab dancers today to further your skills.
So today we're going to concentrate on isolation techniques, okay? So isolation is where we're only moving one part of our body and the rest of the body is still. So the first thing we're going to concentrate on is our rib cage. So what I'd like everybody to do, just stand with your feet apart, shoulder width apart, put your hands on your hips, and we're just going to work on only moving our rib cage side to side. So if we can go to the left first, we're going to isolate everything else, come back to the center, to the right, center, left, center, right. Good. So you're really being aware that where your hands are, we're trying to keep that as still as possible and just move our rib cage. Now we're going to do that without stopping in the middle. So we're going to go right, left, right, left. Very good. Left, right, left. Good. Okay, so that's left to right isolations. We've also got forward and back isolation. So again, with your rib cage, everything else is still. We're going to try and breathe through our rib cage and expand the rib cage. Then we're going to retract it. So we're pulling it back into our back. So you will feel that your shoulders will soften, but that's okay because it's making space for that rib cage to come through. So we're going forward, trying to keep those hips still. Make sure that you're not tucking the hips under or tilting them back. You're just trying to keep them nice and neutral. Forward and back. Good. Okay, now the next one we're going to try and do is do a circular action. All right, so we'll break it down first. We're going to go side, back, to the right, front, left, back, right, front. Okay, we'll do that one more time, touching each point. Now we're going to do it fluid. So you're really trying to make a circular action through that rib cage. Make sure the hips aren't moving. You're keeping them nice and still. And we're going to stop and we're going to go the other way. So now to the right. Good. Try and breathe. The more that you breathe through this, you'll find that your body will give you a little more space. And the other way to the left. And one more time to the right. Good. So there's some great exercises that you can practice, just really isolating through the hip and the rib. Now we're going to do the opposite. So now we're going to work on keeping the rib cage still and getting these hips moving. So everything else is going to be still. So hands on your rib cage. Feel your center. So you're going to attach your center to your spine. Make sure you've got your long spine, feeling like your energy stretching to the roof. And we're just going to start with our hips going left and right. So you're going to go left to the middle, middle, right, middle, left, middle, right, middle. Good. And again, we're going to do the same thing as what we did with the rib cage. And we're just going to start to go from side to side without the middle. So left, right, left, right. So you're trying to work that hip line as far as you can side to side without disrupting any other part of your body. Okay, so everything else is staying still. You should feel a nice torsion through your body. Try and keep your spine still. So I don't want to see the spine moving side to side as well. You're trying to keep that as still as possible, centered straight between your feet. Left, right, left. Good. Now same thing, forward and back, okay? Now when we do this, you are going to feel really tempted to actually tuck through your rib cage, all right? But we don't want that. We're trying to keep that as still as possible. So you're just using your hip weight and you're pulling your hips forward and release it back. And forward and back. Again, make sure you're breathing through this. The more that you breathe, you'll find that you'll be able to get a stronger isolation. Good. So tuck it forward, back, forward, back. Great. Okay, now we're going to go around in our circle. Okay, so we're going the circular action. We're trying to make a big circle. Again, do not let this rib cage go with it, okay? So we don't want to just get everything moving. We're simply isolating that hip line. So we're going to start to the left and we're going to go in an anti-clockwise direction. So we're going to go left, anti-clockwise, bring it around to the front. Trying to keep that rib cage as still as possible. Make sure that at this point that your posture is not compromised. So I don't want to see this chest collapsing inside. You want to make sure that you're really trying to pick up through your sternum. And the other way, right. Now we're going to put a bit of a challenge on this and we're going to try and go a little bit faster. So we're going to go left and a 1, 2, 3, 4 and a right, 2, 3, 4 and a left, 2, 3, 4 and a right, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Okay, and the last one we're going to do for isolation is our figure 8, our Cuban action. Okay, so really trying to draw that figure 8 through your hip line while keeping this rib cage as still as you can. All right, so what I'm actually going to do, we're going to do it in a bit of a different way this time. Instead of holding our ribs, what I want you to do, I want you to put your 2 fingers together in front of your sternum, and you're going to try and draw that figure 8 with your hips. Now, what's not to happen, you don't want these fingers to move, okay? So they're not to come towards you. I don't want to see your elbows tilt. They have to stay exactly the same. They've got to stay in the same position in relation to your chest, all right? We're going to work the figure 8. So you're going to go to your left, left, and so you're going forward and around through the center, forward and around on the other side. So you can clearly see that my hips are drawing that 8. Have a look and make sure that those fingers are where you started. Some of you are starting to tilt. Keep them up. You really have to engage your center here. Right? So really feel like your center's connected to your spine. Up and stop it swaying all over the place. Make sure your spine is straight between your feet. Don't let it wave around. These are all muscular actions. Control through your center. We hope you enjoyed our lesson on isolation. 2 things to remember. 1, making sure that you're always working your isolations in opposition. So it's creating rotations in your body. If you only work one area, it's going to affect your balance. And 2, you're really trying to control through your center. So to isolate more, you want to make sure that you're really working hard through that center, keeping the control there.
Definitely. All right, guys, thanks again for joining us. We'll see you really soon.